When I was born in July.
My wife's like, I think.
It's like, yeah,
Because this 5-year-old knows more than I do.
thank you for laughing. My son's like,
Like
who?
reading the newspaper, all this stuff. I'm like, he's like, I got it all film ready. This guy does this, this guy does this. So it's been fun to watch them.
killing me.
Oh my
She's
God. Seen them for a
killing
while.
me. That's a
What?
slick.
So big, tall.
No, she did. I know she did. Start a secret.
Oh, the freshman dorm, they do
Secret shake.
Yeah, they're going. Yeah, they're going.
What about
early.
Shamil?
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
No
All
picking
right.
up for us. Just buying shoes. That's
All
that's the
right,
big one.
ready?
We're ready if you're ready.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the August 10th, 2026 meeting of the Village of Western Springs Village Board of Trustees. To honor our nation's heroes and especially to honor the individuals who serve and protect our community, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have the roll call, please, Clerk Timick?
Yes, President Rowe. Trustee Bacon.
Here.
Trustee Chen.
Here.
Trustee Fink.
Here.
Trustee Lewis.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Naraki.
Here.
All present.
Thank you very much. Our first item on the agenda tonight is a very special proclamation honoring the Garden Club of Western Springs. I'm going to come up front if any or some representatives would like to join me as I read that proclamation.
Come on, Donna.
There's a microphone right there, right? I should know this by now, right?
Should be on.
That one goes into more of the, yeah? Good? All right. Thanks. Proclamation. This is the Western Springs first meeting in a local home with the vision of fostering a greater appreciation of nature and to stimulate interest in the protection of forests, wildflowers, and birds. Whereas the members of the Western Springs Garden Club continue to be involved in our community by maintaining perennial beds in Spring Rock Park, donating trees to local parks, providing seedling trees to area schools on Arbor Day, and sponsoring a plant and seed exchange, to name a few. Whereas for the past century, the members of the Western Springs Garden Club have generously shared their time, talents, and knowledge to create and maintain beautiful gardens, promote conservation, and inspire residents to cultivate their own green spaces. Whereas the positive impact the Western Springs Garden Club has had on Western Springs can be seen in the beauty found all around our village. Now therefore, the Village of Western Springs does hereby recognize and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Western Springs Garden Club and commends its members, past and present, for a century of commitment and dedication to Western Springs. Thank you so much. It is so rare for us to commemorate something for 100 years. So it's just outstanding. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right. Moving on in our agenda, our next item is public comment. I invite anybody who wishes to address the board to come up to the podium. If you can please just give us your name.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Hi, Board of Trustees. My name is Joaquin Fabara, and I go to Langs Township High School right here. I just wanted to call this board's attention. Oh, it's on. I wanted to call this board's attention on April 22nd, 2024. You guys passed Resolution 24-2798. And what that resolution did is it brought 6 automatic license plate reading cameras, or ALPR cameras, and put them in areas in Western Springs. Now, I understand while license plate reading cameras have good usages and they can be helpful to the police, I wanted to bring this board the actual dangers of what these technologies can actually be used for, and I wanted to call attention to this issue. Just for reference, the Motorola company you guys signed with, on June 10th, just this year, Motorola Solutions was sued in Cook County Circuit Court for violations of privacy law and the 4th Amendment. Now, that is the company you guys signed with, and personally, I believe that we as an area should sign with companies that actually represent the best interests of the people in mind. And not only that, but the actual technology themselves, the license plate readers, they're not as accurate as we, the board, think they are, because Business Insider stated that LPR cameras misread plates 71% of the time. And each of those misreads could cause very dire consequences, having police go on random wild goose chases, tracing people that are not at fault at all. And that could have dire consequences and issues that you guys signed into office. And not only that, even when they do work, these ALPR cameras behind closed doors are used for very nefarious purposes. For example, in Pensacola, the Pensacola News-Journal stated that ALPR cameras were used to track No Kings and other protesters, including ICE protesters. This isn't just in Florida, however. In Oklahoma, in Texas, and in many other states, things like that can happen. And without actual oversight, we have no idea if the police here in Western Springs are doing the exact same thing. Going further, there was another cited incident where deputies in Texas used 83,000 ALPR cameras to track down women having abortions. Seeing that here we are in Illinois, a blue state, I do not want our technology that you guys put into place to have any help in tracking down the immoral arrests of women for getting basic health care. And I understand that while this board may not have the sentiment that they want the ALPR cameras to be going to this use, well, unfortunately, that is just what happened when you sign with Motorola Solutions. I have here the customer terms and conditions, specifically the mobile video and license plate reading addendum. And I want to call attention to 2 sections. Right now, section 4.2.2 about data ownership and retention. It states, Motorola and its licensors retain all title and rights to commercial LPR data. The retention period of commercial LPR data is in Motorola's sole discretion and may change from time to time at Motorola's election. What this means is that not only are the police using the ALPR cameras to get actual data, the company you signed with, Motorola, is also having this video data that is a complete breach of our privacy. While I understand having the police having this data, having a private company have it is a different issue entirely that I don't even know if you guys understood when you voted on this. A different issue is that going down in section 4.2.3 and data sharing, it states the customer has the option to share its customer LPR data with law enforcement agencies that have a subscription with Motorola for vehicle manager access. Customers with a subscription to VME may also share its customer license plate reader data with other non-law enforcement agency customers who have a subscription to Motorola for VME access. This means that not only is Western Springs able to share its data with law enforcement agencies like ICE, as it has been used to track down individuals for deportation in the past, but this contract specifically that you guys signed also gives non-law enforcement agency people to have access to this data. And whether you knew it or not, this is in the file you guys, this is in the thing you guys signed, and I think that's a complete oversight, and that needs to be addressed. And going further, you guys stated on the actual day you signed this, on April 22nd, 2024, that the Motorola project quotation was done, April 9th, 2024. I looked on the actual village website. There was no meeting for that day. That means that you guys, whether you intended to or not, tried to implement a policy and a technology that was done so without the direct comments of the people. And while I understand that might have not been your intention to go behind the people's back, that's what it looks like to the common folk. And I just believe that going forward, there should be a lot more transparency when it comes to these things. And it's with that transparency that we've seen a lot of things that have gone awry. For example, 30 minutes south of here, police in Holiday Hills, Illinois, were caught using ALPR cameras to stalk ex-girlfriends. And while I understand the police in Western Springs have good intentions with the technology, the issue is their walls aren't made of glass. We don't understand what they're doing at each and every moment. So what I, Joaquin Fabar, want to call to this board to pass something today where we the people can know what exactly the police are doing when they use it, and more oversight on the actual company Motorola themselves. Because right now, there are complete oversights in the license plate reading technology that you guys implemented 2 years ago. I understand that may have not been your intention, but that's just what happens in the status quo. Please, in continuation, I hope you guys pass some policy, make some changes to fix this dire issue so we don't have our rights as citizens violated or possibly violated come sometime in the future. Thank you so much, board.
Thank you very much for your comments. And thank you for the points that you raise. A couple things. I think it would be helpful if you were able to meet with us and understand more about how we do use the data. I think you bring up some very good points, and I'm sure that we're happy to talk to you about that, and so that you can understand a little bit more thoroughly. We intend and always are transparent, so we would love to talk to you more about that. One of the things that you mentioned that I want to take a look at is the timeline of the contracts and the meetings. We have pretty good process that we follow where each issue, each contract, each bid situation, it first begins with our staff, and then it is brought to our committee meetings where the committee reviews those. That committee then votes to recommend for something then to come to the board, and then it is discussed with the board and then ultimately voted on. So we want to make sure we take a look at that timeline that you reference and just see if there are any inaccuracies in that timeline, and just give you and others the assurance that it did in fact follow that process that we very strictly adhere to. So it sounds like something might be a bit off just in those dates, so we'll want to definitely take a look at that. We'll also want to take a full look again at the agreement with Motorola, as you say, and look at their terms, look at the data processing agreement, right, in terms of what they can do with it. I think there are many good things that do come from these license plate readers. And I want to make sure we have the right balance between those good things and the crime prevention that they aspire to, and what you're mentioning are some of the outputs that you're aware of as well, that your research has shown and that you see in other towns. But thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. And we really appreciate you taking the time and coming and sharing that very, very helpful and thorough information. So thank you. Any trustee, anyone else want to say anything? Okay, very good. Thank you. Does anybody else want to address the board tonight? Okay.
Good evening, board. My name is Jackson Old, and I'm a recent graduate of Lyons Township High School, and I was also wanting to discuss the ALPR cameras. I live in Indian Head Park in Acacia, and recently I've noticed that there's been a couple cameras installed, and overall, like, I believe one might be a Motorola, and like Joaquin said, with their agreement and contract that you guys signed, that could be accessed by not just the police and by private organizations. And I just want me and all the other citizens of this neighborhood to feel like the cameras are being used in ways that can help solve crimes and not be used to track people in nefarious ways. I've heard that they have been used to stop somebody from stalking somebody, as well as stopping stolen cars, and that increases pedestrian and officer safety, and I'm very glad that that has come out of it. But we also have a lot of safety concerns with the companies for these cameras. And overall, I just want to protect our rights, protect our children, and protect our future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say that I think solving issues like the latest technology that's out there is actually going to take generational work. You guys are smarter on the technology than some of us. You've grown up with it and we didn't. So I love this dialogue. Thank you for bringing it, because I think your perspective is very, very helpful on these issues. I just wanted to say thanks for that.
Great, thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you. My name is Andrew Shepard, and like Joaquin, I'm going into my senior year of high school at Lyons Township. And I just wanted to come up here not with stats like Joaquin has, or even like more personal experiences, but as a plea of the voice of our future generations. These cameras, like Joaquin was saying, have multiple stated use cases of misuse. And I am just worried about the ability that the Motorola company has over these cameras with its contract that you said that you would look over again. And just even what's not in the contract, there's so much with this data that can be used in the future. And I am just concerned of where it could lead. One other thing that I'm concerned about is nearby South Campus of Lyons Township, there was a camera installed that is an ALPR, but is a Flock camera, not Motorola, not the company that you guys had signed this agreement for. And I was just very confused as to why this camera is there if it was not agreed upon by this board to be implemented.
Can you give me the location again on that?
It is on the corner of 47th Avenue and Willow Springs Road on the Shell gas station.
So that would be LaGrange
Oh,
side of the street
okay.
there. So I can't speak to that, but I
Thank
can
you.
certainly
I
check in
I
with
didn't know
LaGrange.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
half of Willow Springs or Gilbert is Western Springs, and the other side is LaGrange.
Thanks for clearing
Yeah.
that up. Okay. Yeah, that's my piece. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Really appreciate it. Really appreciate hearing from you. Agree with Trustee Martin. So thank you. And we'll follow up on the points that you make. So, All right. We will move on then in our agenda, and maybe you'd like to stay and hear some of the other things we talk about. The next item is the approval of the meeting minutes from our July 13th, 2026 meeting. Those will be on the omnibus for approval unless anybody has any questions or concerns. Okay. Moving on then, commission appointment and reappointments. Also on the omnibus will be these three. We have the reappointment of Patrick Turner to the Plan Commission for a term of 3 years expiring August 10th, 2029. We have the reappointment of Andrew Arians to the Economic Development Commission for a term of 3 years expiring August 10th, 2029. And then the new appointment of Nick Esterman to the Plan Commission for a term of 3 years expiring August 10th, 2029. As usual, we greatly appreciate our neighbors being willing to serve their time, providing their expertise and their opinions and their review to each of those commissions. So very pleased to see those tonight. Moving on then to our committee reports, we'll begin with general government. Trustee Chen?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. We met general government a week or two ago, and we positively reviewed the 2 items that are on the agenda. One is the Alano Ristorante, various liquor licenses of various classes, and the other was the Western Springs Park District request for special events liquor license and temporary use permit. And to report to the full board, I'm going to hand it over to Director Vallone to talk about these 2 items.
Thank you, Trustee Chen. So I will direct your attention to the screen. They're up on the dais for you, and then either side of the room for everyone else. So as mentioned, we have a new request for a liquor license at 821 Burlington Avenue. That is the former Salerno space. Our applicant tonight, Chris Elsley of Cato Geneva LLC, is also here to answer any questions that you have. So again, the applicant has secured a lease on the property and is looking to open an Italian restaurant with liquor licenses similar to the ones that he currently holds over here at Hillgrove Tap, and also that Salerno's held when they were in business as well. So on the screen, you'll see the proposed interior seating plan. The applicant is applying for a Class B liquor license, a Class G, and a Class H. So a Class B liquor license is a restaurant license with a patron bar. That does allow for some seats that are at the bar that do not have the expectation of service of food. The rest of the restaurant does have an expectation of service of food along with the service of alcohol. The liquor code requires that only a certain percentage of those seats along the bar are those that are not anticipated to have necessarily food served, as opposed to the rest of the dining area. In reviewing their application, they do comply with it. So in looking at the floor plan, they have at the bar area 11 seats and 2 lounge seats. So if you see on the screen, this is the general bar area, and then additionally these green areas are 2 lounge seats within the bar area. The rest of the dining room is complied of 26 2-top tables. There are 13 4-top tables, which are a mixture of round and square. Those that you see that are square are a 4-top. Those you see that are a circle with a square in them can be converted to a 6-top. And then there is one additional 8-booth seat here that was there when Salerno's was there as well. So as I mentioned before, the applicant is a current liquor license holder in the village. He is in good standing, as well as the property is in good standing with the village as well. The Class G liquor license would allow him premium wine, spirits, and craft beer sale as well. And then the Class H liquor license would allow for outdoor service of liquor as well. So the applicant is proposing an outdoor cafe. There are proposed 36 seats within this area. As you can see on the screen, this bump out that was installed as part of the Burlington Avenue reconstruction project permits a number of seats to be included there. The bump out that you can see here, outlined here, was installed as part of that project. Additionally, these smaller circles that you can see here are crash-tested bollards. The line that goes around that is about 18 inches from those crash-tested bollards. That is the minimum requirement of spacing from the bollards to any other object to ensure the crash-tested bollards can perform appropriately. Additionally, here you'll see that there is a detectable warning plate for those who are crossing from the station area over to this bump out area. And then here is just an outline showing you 36 inches minimum for those folks to walk through that area. So generally, Both the seats inside and outside are compliant with their request and with their current facilities. So as I mentioned, Chris Elsley is in the audience today and can answer any questions that you have. I can also answer any questions that you have. The Liquor Commission did review this after General Government. So General Government reviewed it on July 29th. And after that meeting, the Liquor Commission was also scheduled to meet at that time. And they reviewed the application and both recommended favorable recommendations.
Anyone have any questions?
Happy to have another spot.
That's how we thought.
It's just great to see the success that you've already had continue, so wonderful.
Yeah.
I have a question, can it be from public? Is there?
You'd have to come up to the podium.
Sorry, can you come up to the podium?
We just need to use the microphone so that it records. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Javenshud. My question is, in this drawing, is there convenient passage and safe passage of pedestrians along the sidewalk there while those tables are there? Yes. How is that shown in the picture?
So,
Sorry.
so this area here, again, is shown as 36 inches coming from the actual raised crosswalk. This edge here is actually the edge of the formal sidewalk. So
That's
these
it.
squares here that are not labeled are the planter areas. So on the opposite side of that, that is also sidewalk. So there is a minimum of 36 inches on this side as well. So
Understood, thank you.
All right, very good, thank you.
And then all three ordinances that would consider approval of the request are contained on the omnibus tonight. If there are no other questions, I can flip to item 8B, which is the annual request from the Park District related to their Harvest Fest. So you may remember last year that the Park District conducted Harvest Fest earlier in September. This year they're proposing to conduct Harvest Fest for a single day event on September 19th from 12 p.m. To 10 p.m. Similar to last year, they're proposing a series of activities that would include music, carnival games, other clinics, and then of course fireworks at the end of the night. They are proposing this as a one-day event as opposed to two like last year, but they are incorporating the District 101 3K Family Fun Race that you can see on the screen outlined in red. And then they are also proposing to have liquor service as well, similar to last year. Like last year, they will have proper Bassett-trained folks who are serving the alcohol, as well as security to ensure that open container is maintained within the site. One additional item that is different from last year is this is a Park District only event with the D101 race. The Western Springs Business Association, or WSBA, is no longer part of this. So as you can see in your packet, they have expanded some of the activities that were proposed from last year. So just to walk you through the site plan, as I mentioned before, this red area here will be the 3K D101 fun race that will be conducted earlier in the day. In the middle here will be a carnival area, both with rides and food. And then additionally, they'll have some of their clinics up and over these areas, and then additionally the band as well. Similar to last year, they are proposing parking on the outside of the area, and they have made a deal with the Western Springs Service Club or the pool to be able to utilize their parking lot as well, as they will be closed for the season. Generally, this is in keeping with the request they made last year, but actually a shorter event. So Barb with the Park District, that you're all relatively familiar with, are here and can answer any questions you have. I can also take any questions that you have.
Looks like a great event, once again. We're looking forward to it. Any questions from the board? Very good. All looks in order. Are excited about it. Thank you.
Well, if there's no questions, again, we discussed these pretty thoroughly at committee meeting and are recommending them to the board, but that is the end of our report from committee.
Great. Thank you very much. Moving on then to finance, Trustee Martin.
Yes, we met on August 4th, and Trustee Naraki will go through this in his committee report, but we recommend the approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $35,450 for the recreation fence that needed to be installed, but we'll hear more about that background. Before, And the only other item is just to reference that we continue to talk about the leaf pickup survey as it relates to budgeting. And so that is, could be, as you read in those materials, could be a capital equipment item solution. I just want to flag that as we continue to get information back on leaf collection. That's it.
Great, thank you very much. Moving on to planning and zoning, Trustee Fink.
No report this month.
All right, thank you. Then to Public Works and Water, Trustee Lewis.
Thank you, President Rudolph. Our committee recommends approval of a professional engineering service agreement with V3 companies related to 3 projects that will be part of our 2027 roadway and utility program. The agreement has a not-to-exceed cost of $175,476 and covers surveying, engineering, design, permitting, and bid preparation. The 3 projects V3 will work on are Linden Avenue, 39th Street down to Hillgrove, pavement rehabilitation, water main replacement, and some sewer point repairs. Ridgewood Oaks Drive, the Wolf Road loop through those condominiums, pavement rehabilitation, and then Western Avenue, Oak Street to the dead end, pavement rehabilitation, water main replacement, and some sewer point repairs. Any questions on that? Next, we are recommending approval of a professional services agreement with HR Green for an amount not to exceed $99,943.41. Construction is planned for 2027 and will improve Grand Avenue from Burlington Avenue to 47th Street. In addition to pavement resurfacing, plans include some sanitary sewer rehabilitation and installation of 200 feet of new storm sewer and curbside inlets near Burlington Avenue to improve drainage. Public Works and Water also recommends approval of a no-cost change order related to the 2026 water meter replacement program that will extend the contract completion date from September 30th to December 31st. We are replacing some 110 meters this year, and it's taking longer than anticipated to coordinate the work between the affected residents and the contractor, water services company. So, and the contract is for an amount not to exceed $25,000. Any questions about that? And all three of those items will be on the omnibus for action later this evening. And my next item has to do with two 2026 motor fuel tax funded asphalt improvement projects that we bid as one in hopes of getting more competitive prices. And they are our village-wide asphalt patching and then resurfacing of the public works yard. The bid opening was delayed from July to August 6th because IDOT's review took longer than expected, and our committee met August 4th, so we could not review the bids at that get-together. Staff has since reviewed the 4 bids received and is asking the full board to approve a contract tonight with M&J Asphalt Paving Company, the lowest bidder, for an amount not to exceed $292,598.52. And awarding the contract tonight will allow the asphalt work to be completed before our annual leaf pickup season begins. Any questions about that?
Is there a map of the streets that will be improved throughout the village? Like to know what sections are being taken care of?
Well, it's laid out in the
Did I miss it?
in the memo.
Can I add some context as well, Trustee Naraki?
Sure.
So the village-wide asphalt street patching program.
That's all over.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we know certain areas
Yeah,
of the
so there
village
is a
that are getting
list
taken
of
care of.
locations that were provided in the specifications. There's, I forget how many, probably close to 100 locations that are included. So just spread out all over town. It's not focused in any one area. The public works staff goes out, reviews street conditions, identifies potential candidates, organizes all that. So there will be there'll be some marks in the street before we get going, but it's any one specific area I wouldn't be able to tell you tonight, but we do have a list of them. It was kind of thought out ahead of time, and we're hoping to abide by that. But that's kind of the general intent, is that it's meant to catch kind of trouble areas, not like entire blocks, but just like a specific problem area within a block that could use a little help.
Sure, yeah, I'm familiar with it. I'm sure all of us up here have residents and neighbors that come and say, hey, my street has this going on. Is there something you can do and bring it up? So sometimes being able to convey to residents that, this part of it at least is getting fixed, or something they've walked through that has a dip. Oh, that'll be taken care of this.
We had a list
this
to
year.
go out to bid, but even then, there's still a little bit of a moving target because we don't know how bid prices come in. We have to cut some, we have to add some. We happen to get favorable results here. But there still could be potential small changes, but generally speaking, we have a pretty good feel on what's going on. Just it can vary a little bit as we get going, but yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so this item would be on the omnibus for consideration later tonight. And lastly, as you know, the village is surveying residents about our fall leaf collection program. The survey is on the village website and is open through August 31st. As of July 27th, we received 454 responses, so there's a lot of interest. As you remember, Western Springs and other communities had a tough go of it last fall when snow fell before leaf collection was finished. It's a difficult and time-consuming effort even in the best weather, so staff decided to take a hard look at the program and see how it might be improved. So far, most residents surveyed have indicated support for maintaining some type of leaf collection program, but are also suggesting ways to improve the effort. Some of these include communicating more with residents, and building some more schedule flexibility. And a full analysis of the data will be presented after we close the survey in August. And any questions about that? All right. And if not, that is all I have.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, Properties and Rec Committee, Trustee Naraki.
Thank you, President Rudolph. I have 5 items on my agenda for this evening. The first one being the agreement with Innova Fence for the 2026 Recreation Center fence improvement. An invitation of bids was issued in June for the installation of a fence to enclose the playground behind the Recreation Center. The project is an extension of the 2025 project, which replaced the fence between the Recreation Center and Public Works and will secure the area from nearby wildlife. The Properties and Recreation Committee reviewed this item at their meeting on July 29, 2026, and recommend the approval of a contract with the lowest cost, qualified, and responsive bidder, Innova Fence, Inc., for the installation of a fence at the Recreation Center for an amount not to exceed $35,450. This project was not originally budgeted in 2026, and a budget amendment was already presented this evening by the Finance Committee. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, moving on to the next item, the vendor contract with the Daily Fire Protection. On June 25th, the village issued an invitation to bid on fire system sprinkler repairs for various village facilities. A bid opening was held on July 9th, however, the village received no bids. After consulting with the village attorney, staff solicited 3 quotes directly from potential contractors. Staff received 3 quotes for consideration. The lowest quote received was Daily Fire Protection at $14,790. Staff recommends awarding the work to Daily Fire Protection, who has performed work within the village and neighboring communities and received a positive recommendation. While this item was not budgeted, the village has existing funds in the capital fund that can be directed to complete the project within this budget year and achieve compliance with the NFPA code. Should this project require a budget amendment, staff will bring that forth during a future Finance Committee meeting. Village staff recommend approving a not-to-exceed amount of $20,000, including the proposal price and a contingency amount for potential incidentals. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Moving on to my next item, waive the competitive bid process and approve a contract. The village budgeted for roofing repairs at Village Hall, the Historic Tower, Public Works, and Fire Station 2, the South Fire Station. To assist with the preparation of the specifications for the roofing repairs and for the purchase of roofing materials, village staff are recommending a waiver of the competitive bidding process and approval of a contract with Garland DBS Inc. for roofing supplies and services through Omnia Partners Purchasing Cooperative Contract, number PW1925. Staff anticipates bidding the labor and installation for the project and will present bid results during the September board cycle. So this will be 2 different projects, right? It'll be the materials first, then we'll actually bid out for the work. Does anybody have any questions on that one? No? Okay, then I'll move on to my next one, which is independent contractor agreements. In 2025, the Village of Western Springs established 1-year independent contractor agreements with Kensington School, Premier IL, Grand Avenue Preschool, Right Foot Productions, which is Joe's Footwork, Maddox Music, Montessori School, and Western Springs Historical Society. The 5 proposed contracts, not including the Historical Society, include updates to the agreement language, adjusted square footage pricing, and an exhibit outlining the exact areas being utilized by each contractor. The combined proposed agreements will generate an annual revenue of $632,103.54 in year 1, with a built-in 2% increase each contract year. The new agreements are for a 5-year term, renewed annually, and allow either party to terminate the agreement with notice. Staff is proposing that a separate agreement with the Western Springs Historical Society, WSHS, be developed, which more closely considers the partnerships between both agencies. The Historical Society provides an essential service to the community that would otherwise be provided by the village. They are an all-volunteer group primarily located in a single room on the 2nd floor of the Grand Avenue Community Center, where they store a growing collection of historical records. They also manage and maintain the Tower Museum, Echtel House, and the annual House Walk. The Downers Grove Park District and the City of Elmhurst both manage their own historical societies, with annual operating costs averaging around $350,000. The WSHS has agreed to maintain the terms of the 2025 agreement while a new agreement is considered. The committee reviewed the proposed agreements and the staff recommendation to draft a separate partnership agreement with the Western Springs Historical Society and recommended consideration to the village board. Does anybody have any questions on that long line item? Okay, very good. And then the last item is the change order Recreation Center office furniture. On March 23rd, 2026, the village board approved a furniture purchase from Henriksen utilizing Omnia Partners Purchasing Cooperative. The Recreation Department is requesting an additional purchase of an ADA accessible countertop and small table from Henriksen, and specifics on the change order will be presented in September. If anyone doesn't have any questions, that will conclude my report for tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Finally, Public Health and Safety, Trustee Avakian?
No report tonight.
All right. We will move on then for consideration and action on our agenda items with the omnibus vote. The Illinois state statutes allow a municipality to collectively vote on a group of ordinances, resolutions, and other motions such as awards of contract, appointment, etc. This is known as an omnibus vote. All the items contained on the omnibus vote list have been previously discussed by the President and Board of Trustees on at least one occasion and often on several occasions. By placing them on the omnibus vote list, a single vote may be taken to approve them. A trustee may remove any item from the list and have it discussed and voted on separately prior to the omnibus vote. Is there any such request tonight? All right, Trustee Chen.
Thank you. President Rudolph, I move that the following ordinances, resolutions, and motions as contained on the meeting agenda for August 10th, 2026 be adopted and/or approved under an omnibus vote. Item A, a motion to approve the President and Board of Trustees July 13th, 2026 meeting minutes. Item B, a motion to approve a proclamation recognizing and celebrating the Western Springs Garden Club 100th anniversary. Item C, a motion to approve the reappointment of Patrick Turner to the Plan Commission for a term of 3 years to expire on August 10th, 2029. Item D, a motion to approve the reappointment of Andrew Ahrens to the Economic Development Commission for a term of 3 years to expire on August 10th, 2029. Item E, a motion to approve the appointment of Nick Esterman to the Plan Commission for a term of 3 years to expire on August 10th, 2029. Item F, ordinance number 26-3330, an ordinance amending Title IV Liquor Control of the Western Springs Municipal Code relative to the number of Class H outdoor liquor cafe liquor licenses which can be issued in the Village of Western Springs, Cook County, Illinois. The applicant, Cado Geneva LLC, doing business as Alano Ristorante Pub, for the operation of an outdoor liquor cafe area located adjacent to the 821 Burlington Avenue building at 821 Burlington Avenue, Western Springs, Illinois. Item G, ordinance number 26-3331, an ordinance amending Title IV Liquor Control of the Western Springs Municipal Code relative to the number of Class B full-service restaurant with a patron bar liquor licenses which can be issued in the Village of Western Springs, Cook County, Illinois, for the retail sale of alcoholic liquor in a restaurant for consumption only within the licensed premises located at 821 Burlington Avenue, Western Springs, Illinois. The applicant, Cato Geneva LLC, doing business as Alano Ristorante. Item H, ordinance number 26-3332, an ordinance amending Title IV Liquor Control of the Western Springs Municipal Code relative to the number of Class G fine wine, premium spirits, premium beer, and gourmet food store license, premium spirits, premium beer, and wine only, liquor licenses which can be issued in the Village of Western Springs, Cook County, Illinois, for the retail sale of alcoholic liquor in a restaurant for consumption only within the licensed premises located at 821 Burlington Avenue, Western Springs, Illinois. Applicant Cato Geneva LLC, DBA Alano Ristorante. Item I, ordinance number 26-3333, an ordinance approving the creation of Class L.I. special events on property owned or leased by a non-for-profit organization, liquor license for issuance to the Western Springs Park District for the 2026 Harvest Fest special event to be held Saturday, September 19th, 2026 in Spring Rock Park. Item J, ordinance number 26-3334, an ordinance approving an amendment to the fiscal year 2026 operating budget to pay for fence materials and installation at the Recreation Center. Item K, resolution number 26-3026, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement between the Village of Western Springs and V3 Companies Limited of Woodridge, Illinois for design engineering services for the 2027 road and utility program. Item L, resolution number 26-3027, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement between the Village of Western Springs and HR Green, Inc. of New Lenox, Illinois for design engineering services for the Grand Avenue resurfacing project. Item M, ordinance number 26-3335, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of no-cost change order number 1 to the contract entered into with Water Services Co. of Elgin, Illinois for the water meter replacement project, extending the contract end date from September 30, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Item N, resolution number 26-3028, a resolution accepting the low bid and authorizing the approval and execution of a construction contract for the 2026 motor fuel tax roadway resurfacing project to be entered into at the lowest cost qualified and responsive bidder, M&J Asphalt Paving Company, Inc. of Cicero, Illinois, and authorizing the expenditure of village MFT funds and/or monies from other lawful sources. The contract price, $292,598.52. Item O, resolution number 26-3029, a resolution accepting the project-based bid and authorizing the approval and execution of the agreement for the Recreation Center fence installation contract to be entered into between the Village of Western Springs and Inuva Fence LLC of Elgin, Illinois, and authorizing the expenditure of village funds to pay for the project in an amount not to exceed $34,450. Item P, resolution number 26-3030, a resolution authorizing the execution of a vendor agreement to be entered into between the Village of Western Springs and Central States Automatic Sprinklers, Inc. of Blue Island, Illinois for the repair of the fire sprinkler system at various village facilities and authorizing the expenditure of village funds to pay for the project in an amount not to exceed $43,175. Item Q, resolution number 26-3031, a resolution approving the waiver of the competitive bid process in favor of participation in a joint purchasing cooperative and authorizing the approval and execution of Omnia Partners contract with Garland DBS, Inc. of Cleveland, Ohio for roofing supplies and services. Item R, Resolution Number 26-3032, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of independent contractor agreements between the Village of Western Springs and Premier Illinois LLC, Kensington School of Western Springs, Inc., Joe's Footwork Studio, Maddox Music, Inc., and Montessori School of Western Springs.
Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, President Rudolph. Trustee Avakian.
Aye.
Trustee Chen.
Aye.
Trustee Fink.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Naraki.
Aye.
President Rudolph.
Aye.
The ordinances, resolutions, and motions contained in the agenda of August 10th, 2026 are hereby adopted or approved.
All right, thank you very much. Any new or old business?
No.
Okay. Then we will move on to reports. Our monthly financial report, Trustee Martin?
Not tonight.
All right. My only report is, last week I had the pleasure of participating in a panel put on by the League of Women Voters of LaGrange area, where the topic was about upcoming elections next year and just kind of the processes that people undertake, kind of signatures, petitions, et cetera. Joined on a panel with Trustee Gilhooly from Brookfield, also trustees from LaGrange, and also our D204 board, which was a great mix of people. There were about 35 people that turned out, which was pretty good. Nice to see that. Lots of good questions. Election lawyer also talking about kind of the various procedures and regulations and making sure everybody understood how that all worked. So I thought it was a very useful public service event. Again, it was quite well attended, and I thought people had a lot of really good questions about how the whole process worked. And it was interesting to hear the different experiences in different towns. With that, I will pass it on to Village Attorney Skradsky.
I have no report tonight, thank you.
All right. Then, may I have a motion to adjourn?
One motion back.
Oh, sorry. Skipped right over you.
Yep, that's okay. Just a couple of items. We are looking for anyone who would like to attend a First Responder Citizen Academy. This is something that our police and fire department has put on in the past. This would be the second one offered. It's an 8-week instructional program that really dives deep into how our police and fire departments work. Gives participants an opportunity to learn more about the departments and also the type of work that they do. So they're currently accepting volunteers who want to join them for the upcoming event. Chief, either one of you want to say a few words?
Yeah, it's going to take place mid-September, go through the end of October. It's Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The first day is like an orientation with myself and Chief Scott, just explaining how both departments operate. And then the police department has 3 weeks, the fire department has 3 weeks, and then we end with the graduation. So last year, it seemed everyone in attendance really enjoyed it, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Also wanted to recognize there's additional information on our website on that item, but also the Village of Western Springs Fire Department received their ISO Class 2 Fire Protection System rating again, and that is just an outstanding achievement for especially a department like ours that is a paid-on-call model. Chief, would you like to say anything about the ISO rating?
Maintaining the ISO Class 2 rating, we're immensely proud of that. It's a collaborative effort, though, with our department, the water department, LTAC, our communications center, all working together to make sure that we have the highest level of fire protection possible. The ISO Class 2 rating places us in the top 7% of all departments in the United States.
Fantastic.
Nicely done.
Fantastic.
And I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time, but since we're talking about awards, I wanted to mention that the Finance Department received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from GFOA for our 2026 budget. So congratulations to Director Matt D'Anjona and his team. Do you want to say a few words for the award?
No, just to thank everybody involved. That goes from the board all the way down to directors and all their staff. It takes the entire village to put this together, and we do it every year, and we're happy to do so, and very proud of the award we received.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And I did want to mention that just while we were walking through the items for the agenda, that I did confirm that the vigilant cameras, our LPR cameras, did go through our normal process. They were reviewed at an April 3rd, 2024 Public Health and Safety Committee meeting, where it was discussed thoroughly by that committee, and then also at public meetings on April 8th and April 22nd of the village board. And the item was approved on April 22nd, and the contract was signed following that approval. So it did meet all of the requirements, and in fact went above and beyond by having 3 separate public meetings where the item was discussed. I believe we had quite a bit of conversation about that in terms of placement, number, and application. So we'll continue to have that dialogue with the folks who have concerns about it. And Chief Gilhooly and I both were offering before the meeting to meet with the gentlemen who are here tonight to speak on that topic.
Yep.
And then finally, one of the items on the agenda tonight was there were three different bids that came in, and it's item P on the omnibus agenda. If you look back at the item earlier in the agenda, on the sprinkler item, one of the vendors was presumed to be the low bid or low proposal previously, but then a final one came in, so there was some confusion there. So we'll make the correction at the next board meeting and put it on your agenda again.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, and apologies for skipping you. That was a lot of
No,
good information.
no problem at all.
Okay, so now I will, for real, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.